Well, guys, that concludes my weekend for the Volvo due to spiritual and ghostly doings here in the garage. Um, so I ended up wanting to pull the gas tank down, and I'm kind of glad I did because there was some floaties in the tank when I had, excuse me, the sending unit off initially. And looking at it, it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal. Only because there's no straps. It just bolts up to the bottom of the car with like 4 bolts, and it's like super easy to pull down. Um, Nothing to it. It's just the way they have the filler neck connecting to the actual tank is completely retarded. So typically every car I've ever worked on besides this car has just had the filler neck come from, say, the rear quarter with a aluminum tube and go down to the area where the inlet to the gas tank is with a little snoot off the gas tank. And joining the two was a piece of like fuel resistant or ethanol resistant rubber hose with 2 hose clamps. No big deal. Well, this setup is nothing like I've ever seen. I maybe it's common, but I don't see how it's common. It just seems stupid. So basically, you have the aluminum filler neck that comes down in through the car with well, it comes down in through the car and routes its way, ends up down underneath where the gas tank goes. Well, there's no rubber hoses or hose clamps involved at all. The metal rigid part of the filler neck is actually slips inside of the gas tank through the fill hole on the gas tank, and you use this clamp like it's almost like one of the clamps that you'd find on like a wastegate V-band setup, which I'm not sure why they took the time to paint it the same color as the car, but I guess maybe their attention to detail is what makes them uh, you know Volvo. But anyways, this slips over the flange on the gas tank, and then there's a little rubber donut gasket that's supposed to go in this little groove. Uh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it because it's my phone, but there's a little recessed groove in there. So the little donut rubber gasket goes in there and then goes over the flange on the gas tank, while the rigid filler neck slips inside the gas tank, and then you tighten this down, and then it like makes a seal. Well, took the tank down. One was about to put the tank back up, had everything situated. Um, I had the tank balanced on like a brick to keep it up while I went up inside the car to make sure everything was situated. And I came down, and next thing you know, the tank had slipped off the tube, the filler neck tube, and so I got back under the car, and the little rubber donut thing is gone. Like, it's nowhere to be found in my garage. It was on there. I physically saw it. I physically touched it. I've taken flashlights. I've looked inside the gas tank like 3 times. I've got under the car 3 times looking for it. It's gone. Like, I have no idea where this thing is. So now I'm at the point where I just have to order one. It's not expensive. It's like $2 or $3, but now I have to wait to put the gas tank back up, which is kind of annoying. But at the same time, I'll throw some pictures in. I ran trans lines, or what trans lines I could run, because this is a remote mount cooler setup, so I need like 4 miles of hose. But uh, it was nice enough that the cooler had like flared fittings on it, so the uh, the push lock fittings thread right onto the cooler, so it's great. There's actually a little temperature switch that goes in line with the cooler that turns the fan on and off, so that'll be kind of neat. But nothing really other than that. So I'm just kind of, oh, well, and I want to go back to the tank. Good thing I did go back because and take the tank down because the the sending unit is a pain in the rear end to get into the tank with the bigger pump on it. So you get it in, and the float is like a little tennis, or not a tennis ball, a little ping pong ball, and there's no room for it to get inside the hole because the hole is so small. So I ended up having to tweak the float arm, and when you do that, it puts pressure on the side of the assembly that holds that all together, and when you put pressure on it, like it just explodes and falls apart inside the tank. So when I took the tank down, I noticed, like, I heard something. I looked in the tank, and the float arm assembly was just laying on the bottom of the tank. So luckily I did. I was able to pull it apart and fix it and put it back in to where I don't think it's going to fall apart now. So we'll see what happens. But here's your non-exciting update for the end of the weekend. I'll end up having to go to the Parker store again and grab some more hose, but hopefully that'll be my last trip there to buy hose and crap because it just I feel like I'm keeping the lights on over at Parker for a while. So, um, anyways, that's what I got for you. Not much else other than my Vice that I posted earlier, but let me see if I can edit some of these pictures in from under the car and you can take a look at them. All right, guys, thanks, and have a good rest of the weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.